Nice. Yeah.
Yo, okay. Jeez, there was no ticker breakdown this week. Your boy was moving. My parents moved, so I got all my stuff over to their place, and I'm gonna be here for a few months before I move out myself and make the plunge. As you could hear, there's still construction going on in the basement and stuff, so I'm gonna make a quick little vid of just a few things in my holdings that I added because right now it could be a chips to the center of the table moment in the market. So a lot of charts are looking good and everything's lining up. So you got to start making some plays, right? So I bought a share of Amazon. This was my first share of Amazon that I've ever bought. It was at like 3,300 a share is where I purchased it. It's been kind of fluctuating, but this is my look on Amazon right now. We got a massive bull flag. Now I'm gonna pull this up just a sec. So we got the massive bull flag here, and then this is the flag part, just a long wedge since September. So it's been going in a wedge, not making higher highs, but not making lower lows. So it forms a wedge pattern here. Really bullish when you see this in the market, to be honest. We're expecting $4,000 price target, and guess what? Now that you hear Elon Musk with Tesla and how they're basically making their balance sheet into Bitcoin, some of it, I think 1.5 billion into Bitcoin, which is absolutely crazy. If Amazon does something like this, geez, yeah, this will melt up to 4K with no problem, right? So that'll be an interesting thing to see in the future. They just had a really bullish earnings play. I'm thinking up on Amazon. That's why I bought a share. I really like it. I think you guys should get some too. Galaxy. Let's do a little update on Galaxy. So this is my baby boy. Galaxy is the baby boy. Been following crypto, so this is like my crypto exposure play. Let's do a little breakdown of the past. This is where I got in. I got in at a cup and a handle pattern. So this is just to show you guys patterns work if you know how to play them, right? So cup and handle pattern breaks out, comes back to retest this previous zone where there was resistance at one point. Let's make that a little smaller. As you can see, that was a clear zone of resistance. Came up, stalls, 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 goes, tests as support, runs. That's what you want to see, right? So that's good there. And then we got a nice break to the upside. It looks like it's forming some next run we got here. If you zoom in, this was a descending wedge, right? We'll look at the 4-hour. So we got like a descending wedge, and it kind of creates a little inverse head and shoulders here that ended up playing out. Right? So there's left shoulder head, right shoulder, and then the neckline just right here. And it breaks out. And it's a good play. So where my next target would be is I take out the fib extension magnet. I think this is going much higher, to be honest, than this fib extension target, but first target's already hit at $15.80. It hit that today, and there's this gap below it leaves behind. So what we might be able to see is a fill of the gap. Right now it looks like the gap's starting to see some buy pressure, but we'll have to see. It could come meet up with the 8 EMA into this gap and then further see it run to the upside, right? So I wouldn't be surprised at that. Think of it, it's a rational move of it went up 68% in a short amount of time, right? So it's just something to keep in the eye. We're so bullish on Galaxy, it's not even funny. Like, it's going much higher than that, but in the near terms, think of it like $20 is my next brain. Like, I'm thinking, okay, once it hits 20, maybe take some profits. So let's see what else we got. I picked up some Visa in my RSP recently because I think it's just going to be great long term, and how they're starting to add Bitcoin to their transactions. That's a bullish catalyst to the stock. It's been hanging around in these ranges, and I'm ready for it to break out soon. Made a play on Visa in the summertime last year, and I like this range. I'm thinking it'll hover around here, end up going further, and then end up breaking this upper trend line here that's acting as resistance. MMED, nice little update on MMED here. So another supply and demand thing here. We got demand zone, right? Why is it a demand zone? Comes down, buy. When you get from this range, this is a demand area, or it could be thought of as support. So you could think of it like that. Where does it come up to see resistance? Well, there's automatically resistance somewhere up here. So we'll keep that in mind. But the shorter term resistance is like around this range here. Every time it got up into this range, there's some rejection, look. So if we zoom in, rejection, this was a resistance point here, right? So it comes down, demand zone, resistance, demand zone, supply zone, demand zone, supply zone, comes down, breaks over. It wanted to act as support, didn't make it. This resistance zone's pretty heavy still. Comes crashing down, but it doesn't even hit the demand zone. So I'm thinking there's new things to be established in the stock. We'll see this coming up soon, right? We want to see this, if it does come down, to use this, and now you want this to be the support. That is bullish, and then it'll play in this range, and then eventually it'll break this, weaken this zone, and then it'll go back up there. So that's what we're looking for MMED. I still like the overall thesis on that play. I recently picked up some Corsair gaming company. Why did I pick it up? Ascending triangle that looks like it's forming with this as the supply zone, but it happened to break over, so we want to see it eventually maybe come back down, retest, come back down, retest a few times to make sure it's resistance, breaks up over, and then we'll have its highs at $51 plus. I like Corsair. PLTR, another demand zone play. I really like the demand zones lately. Supply and demand, baby. It's easy. It's the easiest way to find a stock and see if, like, is this a good deal or not. So make sure you try to find stocks that have weak supply zones. And how can you tell? The more it hits the supply zone, or the strength in which it hits the supply zone, and the way it hits the supply zone is how you can tell. And then it becomes a demand zone, or resistance becomes support. So yeah, small little breakdown for today. Peace.